if you're shopping for financial gifts, the gift of savings, we're looking at CDs, savings bonds, custodial accounts. Now, if we're looking at CDs, we need to shop all these accounts, Peter, because banks pay different rates on CDs based upon their need for money.
And welcome into Financial Focus. Here is founder and CEO John Kuykendall of GulfCoast Financial Services with your financial tip of the week.
Hey, out there, well, what I wanted to talk about today, Peter, was marginal tax brackets. Everybody thinks that you ask them, what tax bracket are you in? And they'll say, well, I'm in the 15 or I'm in the 20% tax bracket. But that's not true. We are in a progressive tax bracket. So the more we make, the more tax we have to pay on those dollars. And so as we move forward along the line, if we pull money out of our tax deferred accounts, which creates taxable income, it can put us into a different tax bracket, and we can pay as much as 40% on that additional money. So because we are in this tax bracket situation, what we need to do is we need to do some tax planning before we pull money out of our retirement accounts. At the first of the year, what you need to do is sit down with your financial planner and say, okay, this is how much I'm projected to make. This is how much I need to take out of my income. I want to take a trip. I've got to replace my roof. How am I going to get it? And then let them put it in the tax calculator and figure out what tax bracket you'll be in on that additional money. Because we're not in the 20% tax bracket on all the money. It's a progressive, and the more we make, the more we pay.
John, the first step to controlling our taxes is understanding the tax system. Now, the IRS tax code is 70 some odd thousand pages, but we do need to understand at least the basics and how those pages apply to our income to get some amount of control over those taxes.
That's right, Peter. And we need to do planning. We shouldn't just take money out or we've got different buckets here. We've got a cash bucket, a growth bucket, and a deferred bucket. And we can't, before we pull money out of those buckets, we need to figure out how we're going to do it in the most tax advantaged way for us. There's no reason to pay more taxes than you have to.
John, we are in the midst of shopping season, so we'll talk about shopping for financial products. Sometimes money is thought of as a thoughtless gift. However, you can make meaningful, impactful financial gifts. And I think that we're going to address that as well as what to consider if we are shopping for financial products on today's program. Of course, this is Financial Focus, brought to you by the best of the best in financial services, the team from GulfCoast Financial Services, as they have been named by the readers of the Lake City Reporter 11 straight years and running. And we always appreciate founder and CEO John Kuykendall keeping us financially focused here. So, John, what do we need to consider from a financial perspective as we enter into the holiday shopping season? How do we make money more meaningful?
Well, I think, Peter, there are a lot of ways that we can do this. One of the things is that, if you're shopping for financial gifts, the gift of savings, we're looking at CDs, savings bonds, custodial accounts. Now, if we're looking at CDs, we need to shop all these accounts, Peter, because banks pay different rates on CDs based upon their need for money. So if they have a high loan volume and they need deposits, they will pay up on their new money. Now, once you have a CD, you need to also shop it on renewal, because banks are notorious for not paying up on renewals, but paying more for new money. So you need to be careful on how you're getting your money and what the bank's paying on those.
So, John, what are some of the different types of accounts or ways that a parent or grandparent could keep control over these accounts, but make this gift and make one that down the road could be very meaningful?
Well, like custodial accounts are one way, Peter, and that's a way that if I'm giving money to my grandchildren, I remain the trustee of that account. I control that account. It's in their name, their social security number, but the money is theirs, and they can learn how to manage it, how to make suggestions as wanting to move it. They can have control of it. They just can't take the money out because you're still the custodian of that account. Now, the one good thing I like about that, and I did that for my grandkids, is because you can use the money for anything. So if they want to buy a car, if they need to buy tuition at school, or they want to buy a house, then they can take that money out and use it for that purpose. Now, the other way is the 529 plans, which are for education. And one thing is you can use that for K through 12 or for college, and it's limited to $10,000 a year for K through 12 that you can pay for private tuition, private school. And at the end of the term of that beneficiary graduating from school, not needing anymore, you can name a new beneficiary and let your second or third grandchild then have the money for education. At the age 65, that money comes out into a Roth IRA. So it's a great way that we can save money for the kids and then at the end of the term, convert it to a Roth, which makes it grow tax free.
And John, I know that there's like an annual gifting amount exclusion, $19,000, but that is per person, per recipient. So if you have 4 or 5 grandchildren, you could give 19,000 to each one of them, and both grandma and grandpa can
Yeah,
both give that 19,000. So that's a lot
yeah.
of potential asset transfer that would not impact those annual gift limits.
No, and as with the custodial accounts, Peter, you can have other people contribute to this. So you can have the other grandparents, you can have aunts and uncles contribute to the 529 or the custodian account. So it's ways to put money aside for kids and let them learn about investing, controlling their money, controlling their spending. It's a great way to train them financially on what they're going to need later.
All right, so that is the gift of savings or the gift of education with those 529 accounts. Great amount of flexibility now with those 529s. Used to be a little bit more limited, but now you've got more flexibility. How about the gift of protection, John? I think that this is an important one that too often gets overlooked, but life insurance can
Life
be a
insurance.
very meaningful and impactful, not only financial tool, but even a gift to others.
Well, the thing about it is, Peter, if we have life insurance on our children, it's the cheapest they'll ever be able to get life insurance. So what we're doing is because of their age, the insurance is going to be very cheap. We can buy a bigger policy than they can buy later. They may not be insurable later. So, it's a way that we can give them an early start on protection. If they have a cash value policy, the cash value will grow, and later they can use that for retirement, for buying a home, buying a car, whatever they need. They can get a loan against the policy. It's a great way to give the gift of protection at a low cost and making sure that they're going to be able to have insurance. I know of cases where children have become, through car wrecks or other things, disabled later in their younger life and not been able to get insurance. And so, at least this way, they have it. It's cheap. It's very reasonable based upon their age.
And John, the gift of growth. A lot of parents set up investment accounts or even stock and dividend reinvestment accounts for their kids or grandkids.
Right. You can set up a give like of a stock that pays a dividend. AT&T is an example, and that dividend you can take it in additional stock, or you can take it in cash in the account, and then later buy additional shares of whatever you want. So it's a great way for us to give them the gift of growth, but also let them find out what compounding effect will have on their accounts.
Yeah. Educational, encourages patience and financial awareness and builds lifelong appreciation, not just appreciation for the gifter, but literally appreciating in value over time.
Well, yeah, and I mean, what kid wouldn't want to have one share of Apple? I mean, come on. I mean, to say I own some of Apple or I own Disney World. I mean, it's a great way to let them see what owning things and being patient and investing, how it will grow and gives them a head start, Peter, on doing it later.
Yeah, when they're around the holiday dinner table and they've got their face in that iPhone, you can say, "Hey, do you know that you actually own that company?" Wouldn't that
Yeah,
be a good conversation starter?
it would be. It would be. And I encourage you to have family talks about if you do this about what's the stock price today? How much is it made? What's the dividend? How has it grown? Get them interested in being a stockholder in the company.
John, the gift of legacy, legal and estate planning provides clarity for your family, a gift whose value cannot be understated.
Well, that's right, Peter. And I wish that I could give this to all of my clients because I have so many that we preach to all the time, and we're still, waiting on these documents. The gift that you give to your family is protection. You're giving them the gift that if something happens to you, the assets that you have in your name only will pass to them. And the assets, your 401k and all that stuff will change, will go with it so that they don't have to hire attorneys. They don't have to worry about how they're going to make the mortgage payment, how they're going to make the car payment. All that stuff's taken out ahead with those documents. And I encourage everybody to do that and to preach it to our children so that when they get of age, they can start doing that. And I would recommend that every parent out there, when our child reaches 18 or 21, that we prepare documents for them and let them see what happens and go. It's not that expensive, Peter, to get those primary documents. The other thing too, Peter, is we need to review those documents annually. Things happen, divorces, deaths, children. You don't want to leave your money to your children because you don't like them anymore. Whatever. I mean, those things change. Don't leave an account to an ex-spouse because you forgot to make the changes. And I've had that happen several times in our own practice here. So let's review those annually and make sure that the beneficiary is up to date and that everything in the will is the way you want it.
Yep. Certainly the gift of having your legal affairs, your estate planned out and documented, John, not only reduces stress and confusion and potential conflict, but also potentially taxes. There are some things there that might be cost effective for you as well. How about when we are shopping ourselves for the financial products that we want or need to own, John? What are some tips that you have for being a smart financial shopper?
Well, Peter, we need to understand what we're looking at. What am I buying? What am I putting my money into? Does it really say what it's supposed to say? You need to read the fine print. Make sure that whatever you're getting if you're buying an annuity, you want to make sure that it's A+ company, has a good rating, has a good history, has been around in business a while, and you want to know the ins and outs of that product. And I recommend that with any product, any financial product we buy, but especially with annuities and life insurance. I don't know how many times I've had somebody think that they had a cash value life insurance when we find out it's term, or when they think they're making 7% on their annuity, but it's 7% on the life income, not 7% on the cash value. There's different things. These things are complicated, but they can be explained. You just have to ask enough questions, and there are no dumb questions. We will answer questions as long as we have to. We want you to know, as fiduciaries, what you're getting and how it works, what the costs are, how much is it going to cost you to have this? Are there hidden costs? Are there things that are going to affect you later? How am I going to get my payout? If something happens to me, does my spouse get the money immediately, or do I have to take it over 5 or 10 years? And that's happened before where we've had a death and we couldn't transfer the entire proceeds. We had to take it out in 5 years, 5 installments, and that creates a huge tax burden then on your loved ones. So you need to understand those things, Peter.
Yeah. Understanding what you are buying not only promotes confidence and clarity, transparency in your plan, but can potentially increase returns or reduce
Mhm.
risk, keep you in control. Very important. And avoid complacency. The markets change, your life situation changes, and your products and your financial plan should change as well. The marketplace evolves, and you should update your plan to help you keep in control and achieve your important goals. Right, John?
That's right, Peter. You know that the products that we have today that we're showing our clients are not the products we showed 5 years ago. Actuarially, people are living longer. Life insurance cost has gone down. The new tables are much better than the old tables. Annuities have a lot more bells and whistles than the old ones. They have less restrictions. I mean, the fixed indexed annuities that we had in 2000 aren't the fixed indexed annuities we're looking at today. Everything evolves. And just like your estate plan has to evolve, so does your financial products within that estate plan.
Set it and forget it does not work in
Yep.
finance. So, whether you are shopping for a meaningful and impactful financial gift to give to others or shopping for your own financial products, you need to have smart shopping. And the best strategies is thoughtful and informed to make sure that you understand what it is that you are considering or purchasing and how that gift will impact you or those others that you intend it for. Lots of great financial strategies and gifts can be made. The gift of money and finances is not thoughtless if given in a thoughtful way. And of course, if you're looking for how to achieve that, give Gulf Coast Financial Services and John Kuykendall a call. They're happy to show you how you can set up a gifting strategy to give a meaningful and impactful gift or help you evaluate your own financial products. Make sure you are shopping smart for your financial planning purposes. Give them a call, 386-755-9018, 386-755-9018, 386-755-9018. And John, perhaps for our own lasting financial confidence, the smartest move we could make and thing we could shop for is actually free of charge. It is the financially focused written retirement income plan that you put together for your clients there at Gulf Coast Financial Services.
That's right, Peter, because we look at all the things we talked about today, and we try to put those together in a comprehensive plan that's not very difficult, not very long, but we will analyze your taxes, your investments, your legacy planning. We will look at all the things that Social Security, Medicare, all the things you need to know about retirement and how you're doing and where you're going. And then we like to update that annually so that we can keep track of it. You know, Peter, giving money there's nothing wrong with it as long as we do it in the right way. Just to give gift cards because they're gift cards, we're really not teaching anything. You know, we really need to make sure that we give meaningful gifts. And we've talked about on this show some ways we can do that. And certainly we need to encourage our young people to be better stewards of their money. Now, this time of the year, we're all doing our shopping. We're already started looking online. And make sure that we don't overspend. Make sure you have a budget. Make sure that you're spending within your limits because, you know, as a retiree, costs are going up, inflation's going up. We need to make sure that our money will last during our lifetime. So let's be frugal with how we give, but give meaningful gifts while we do it. And lastly, Peter, I just want to say that we're in a national emergency in Florida. It has reached 30 degrees this morning, and we don't know what to do. So, you know, if you could send a little sunshine our way, we'd appreciate it.
Florida is not all that it used to be, but at least we're still the free state, John.
That's right. We're still a free state, Peter.
Well, we always appreciate the time, John, in helping savvy shoppers shop smart for financial gifts and products. It is shopping season after all. And ladies and gentlemen, if you'd like to figure out the best strategy or meaningful, impactful gift for your loved ones, give Gulf Coast Financial Services a call, 386-755-9018, 386-755-9018. Thank you, John.
Thank you, Peter. Great to be here. See you next week. Have a good one.
Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and tune in for more financial focus by visiting GulfCoastFinancial.net.
The information presented on this program is provided for informational purposes only, without warranty of accuracy, completeness, or suitability for a particular purpose. This program is not intended to be and does not constitute financial, investment, legal, or tax advice. This information is general in nature and not specific enough to be construed as advice. You should not make any decision based on the information presented on this program without independent consultation with an appropriately licensed professional or competent advisor. Investment in securities or the market involves a potential risk for loss of principal. Trading, therefore, may not be suitable for all listeners. Annuity guarantees are based solely on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing company. Withdrawals of growth from annuities may be taxable as ordinary income in the year it is taken. Individuals should review contracts for specific details of the product's features and costs. Early withdrawals may subject the owner to penalties, fees, or taxes.
John Kuykendall is registered with and securities are offered through Kovac Securities Inc., member FINRA SIPC, found online at www.kovacsecurities.com. Advisory services are offered through Gulf Coast Financial Services Inc., a registered investment advisor in Florida. Gulf Coast Financial Services Inc. is not affiliated with Kovac Securities Inc. or Kovac Advisors Inc. Past performance is not indicative of future results. All investing involves risk. Investment decisions should be based on your own goals, time horizon, and tolerance for risk. Due to various factors including changing market conditions and/or applicable laws, the content may no longer be reflective of current opinions or positions. Gulf Coast Financial Services Inc. has been named as Best of the Best since 2015 in the category of Best Financial Advisor in the Lake City, Florida area. The award was based on receiving the most votes in this category from a survey offered and tabulated by the Lake City Reporter. No direct or indirect compensation was provided to the Lake City Reporter and/or any raters, and the award is not contingent on future direct or indirect compensation offered to the newspaper and/or raters. Portfolio performance is not a criterion, and voting is open to any readers of the newspaper.